Being hurt by a woman does not mean you are weak, brother. It means you are alive, it means you felt, and it means you were brave enough to open your heart. To love deeply is to expose yourself to risk. No man escapes that risk if he is truly living. A man who hides from it may avoid heartbreak, but he also avoids connection, growth, and the kind of bond that makes life meaningful. The truth is, strength is not proven in the absence of pain but in the way you respond to it when it arrives. This is the line that separates men who grow from pain and men who are broken by it. Most men fall into two traps when hurt by a woman. They either collapse into self-pity, drowning themselves in the idea that they were not enough, or they explode in anger, shouting, lashing out, trying to force her to see the damage she caused. Both reactions feel powerful in the moment, but both hand her control. When you pity yourself, you confirm to her that she succeeded in breaking you. When you lash out, you show her she still rules your emotions. In either case, she wins. The real power lies in neither collapse nor rage. It lies in control. Control of yourself, your mind, your emotions, and your response. Mastering your reaction is how you reclaim the power she thought she had. You can't always stop someone from hurting you, but you can decide whether that hurt defines you. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. When you hold yourself steady, when you refuse to let her see you crumble, you show the world that your spirit cannot be broken. That is where true strength begins. One of the most destructive mistakes men make after being hurt is chasing closure, as if some magical explanation will heal the wound. They beg for reasons, demand apologies, and plead for her to make sense of what happened. But here's the truth you must accept: female psychology is driven by emotion, not logic. Emotions shift like the wind, and most of the time, even she can't fully explain why her feelings changed or why she acted the way she did. You could interrogate her for hours, and her answers would still leave you empty. Because what you're really searching for isn't information, it's relief. And no word she gives you will undo the pain. Her reasons will never erase the nights you couldn't sleep, the moments you replayed in your head, or the trust that was shattered. Closure, brother, does not come from her. It comes from you. You don't need her to tell you why. You don't need her to admit she was wrong. You don't need her to see the damage she caused. Waiting for that will keep you trapped in her grip, chained to her choices. The real way forward is to accept that her actions reflected her state, not your worth. And when you accept that, you stop trying to force her to fix what she broke. The most powerful response is indifference. Not shouting. Not posting. Not trying to make her jealous. All of those things still show that you care. True indifference is silence. It's walking away without drama, without begging for answers, without explaining yourself. Nothing unsettles a woman more than realizing the man she thought she broke is still standing tall, calm, and moving forward without a word. That silence becomes your closure. Pain is energy, and what you choose to do with it will shape the man you become. Most men collapse under heartbreak. They stop eating right, they stop training, they neglect their goals, and they waste away in self-destruction. But that path only deepens the wound. A strong man, on the other hand, recognizes that pain is fuel. He channels it into discipline, into building, into sharpening every part of himself. Emotional pain carries enormous energy, and if you redirect that energy into your growth, it can transform you in ways comfort never could. That's why some of the strongest men alive, the most focused and disciplined, are forged in heartbreak. They didn't let the pain bury them, they used it as the very fire that refined them. When you take the sting of betrayal and turn it into hours in the gym, hours at your craft, hours dedicated to building your life, you transform what was meant to weaken you into the reason you rise. Forgiveness also plays a part here. Forgiveness isn't about excusing her behavior or pretending the pain didn't happen. Forgiveness is for you. It's how you release the poison of bitterness, how you make sure you're not carrying her choices in your heart forever. Holding on to bitterness is like drinking poison every day, it keeps her alive in your spirit long after she's gone. But when you forgive, you cut the rope. You say, you may have hurt me once, but you will not hurt me forever. That decision frees you. Because real strength is not just surviving the wound, it's refusing to let the wound control your future. The pain was real, but the man who turns it into power becomes unshakable. A woman who hurt you has already revealed her character. The biggest mistake a man can make is ignoring that revelation and giving her another chance in the same way, hoping she will suddenly change. That's not strength, that's self-betrayal. Self-respect demands that you believe what she showed you the first time. When someone crosses a boundary, when they betray trust or disrespect your love, they are teaching you who they are. To let them back in without change is to gamble with the same hand that already cost you everything. And every time you reopen that door, you teach her that your love is cheap and your boundaries are weak. Weak boundaries are the fastest way to destroy a man's spirit, because they communicate to the world that you don't value yourself. Strong boundaries, on the other hand, protect your heart, your mind, and your future. They say, "I will not allow anyone access to me who does not respect me." Every heartbreak is a lesson in boundaries. Pain is the teacher that sharpens your standards. If she mocked your dreams, you now know only to keep women around who support them. If she disrespected your time, you now demand it be valued. If she betrayed your trust, you now guard it like treasure. That is how you build armor, not by shutting yourself down, but by refusing to allow disrespect into your life again. Self-respect is walking forward, not backward. It's not holding grudges, it's holding standards. The man who learns this becomes untouchable. No woman can manipulate or hurt a man who refuses to allow access without respect. Pain gave you clarity, and clarity builds strength. That is the gift hidden inside betrayal. The hardest part of heartbreak is not always losing her, it's losing the dream of who you thought she was. Many times, what you loved was not the woman in her entirety but the version of her you built in your mind. You remembered the best moments, the tenderness, the laughter, the intimacy, and you wove that into an image of permanence. When she changed, when her actions no longer matched that image, the illusion shattered. That is why the pain feels so sharp. You are not just grieving her actions, you are grieving the death of the fantasy you clung to. To heal, you must stop romanticizing her. You must see her clearly. She is not the flawless picture your heart painted, she is human, flawed, and capable of choices that cut you deeply. Once you see her without the illusion, the spell breaks. That clarity is painful, but it is also freeing. It allows you to stop blaming yourself, to stop believing you weren't enough. Because the truth is, women don't hurt men because those men were lacking. They hurt men because their own emotions shifted, their respect faded, or their immaturity drove their decisions. None of that is proof of your inadequacy. Her choices reflect her character, not your worth. That is why self-blame is poison, it breaks you twice, once through her betrayal and again through your own judgment. Do not let her actions rewrite your value. Accept that what you lost was not only her, but the illusion of who you believe she was. And once that illusion dies, you can finally face reality with open eyes. The moment you stop clinging to what she was in your imagination is the moment you begin to heal for real. Every betrayal is a turning point, and how you choose to respond defines the man you become. Pain can bury you in bitterness or it can refine you into steel. The choice is always yours. You cannot control her decisions, her emotions, or her betrayal, but you can control how you rise from it. This is the essence of masculine strength, not the absence of wounds, but the ability to master yourself in the aftermath. When a woman hurts you, the temptation is to obsess over her, who she's with, what she's thinking, whether she regrets it. But every moment you spend focused on her is a moment you rob from yourself. You keep her alive in your spirit, and that drains you. The way forward is to reclaim your focus. Stop asking, "What is she doing?" and start asking, "What am I doing?" Are you building? Are you growing? Are you becoming stronger, sharper, more disciplined? When your progress gets louder than your pain, her memory fades naturally. That is the real closure, not her apology, not her explanation, but your evolution. The greatest revenge is not replacing her, it's replacing the weaker version of yourself who tolerated her in the first place. Every boundary you raise, every standard you enforce, every ounce of strength you develop makes her less relevant. One day you'll realize she never took anything from you, she only revealed the strength you hadn't yet discovered. That's why betrayal is not the end. It's a rebirth. A man who walks through pain without losing himself becomes a man who cannot be destroyed again. She wasn't sent to ruin you, brother. She was sent to awaken you. And once you awaken, no one can ever break you the same way again.